3, 2, 1.
This month is about harvesting. Harvesting what you want in your life in the most powerful place you have. In your brain, in your consciousness, in your subconscious, in your belief. Now that sounds like 4 places, but they are linked as one. They're linked by what the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines as the faculty or action of forming new ideas, images, or concepts of external objects that are not present to the senses. They are linked, these 4 places I spoke about. They're linked by the ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. They are linked by what we've been talking about all month, by imagination. We all have it. We all have it. You have an imagination. You're using it all the time, maybe in little ways, maybe not in some huge forecast of the future. And you don't have to have the talents and abilities of Einstein or Tesla or Plato or Neville, John Lennon or Mozart, Picasso or Van Gogh to use it. Remember this quote? Imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, the entire universe, actually, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution. Professor Einstein said that. And yes, I've used that quote many times, probably even last week, probably. But has it soaked in yet? Has it soaked in that your imagination is more important than your knowledge? I think that's a big thing. That's a big thing to understand, to take in, to accept, to believe. Your imagination is more important than the knowledge you have. You ever have pictures in your head of maybe a couple getting married and you go, well, I can see this marriage isn't going to last. There's doom and gloom going on. Well, that's your imagination working. You see that. Maybe you don't see actual events, but you understand from imagining these 2 personalities gathering together as one that it's not going to work out. Have you ever seen yourself soaking the rays of on a tropical island somewhere, and that becomes your next vacation, or maybe looking at your favorite painting during your next holiday? Have you ever imagined that? You probably imagine that before you even go, before you know, where do you want to go on? Where do I want to go on my next holiday this year or later next year or whenever? And you think about it and you imagine yourself sitting on the beach, or you imagine yourself looking at architecture in Europe, or the places in Egypt, or the big wall in China. That's your imagination. Do you ever use words or phrases like, I can see it, I can see this, that, or the other, in reference to some memory maybe that has been made? Well, so too can you use that word or phrase like I can see it for a memory to be made. A memory to be made. With that action, with your imagination, which is an action in mind, all we have to do then is attach feeling to it. What does it feel like to do this or that? What does it feel like to have this or that? What does it feel like to experience this or that? How would it feel? And then you switch that And in this imaginative time, how does it feel? You can actually feel it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between feeling something from a reaction in quote unquote reality and feeling something from a response to what you're imagining. A response to laying on that beach on a tropical island, seeing the pyramids in Egypt. I've said it before and I'll say it again, and especially this month. Imagination plus feeling is the cornerstone, the foundation, the support of all things manifested. You have not and will not really manifest anything that on purpose you haven't imagined and felt what it would be like, how it would manifest into your life. Neville says, remember, we're talking about Neville Goddard this month a lot, and I know I use Neville now and again. I love Neville. But this month we are especially using quotes from Neville Goddard. He said in a lecture called The Spirit of Within that he gave April 25th, 1969, he said, now in order to prove that the law works, you must try it. And let me make an aside here. I've given you in the last few weeks experimental uses of your imagination. Because I know some people feel like, well, I'm not very imaginative. But I can safely say you're wrong. You are imaginative. You imagine many things. Sometimes we take too much time to imagine the negative, something going wrong, but we can use that same power to imagine something going the way we want it to go. But anyway, let me get back to the quote. Now, in order to prove that the law works, you must try it. Have a goal, he says. Your goal may be peace of mind, health, or marriage. Again, your goal can be anything that you have decided you want to have in your life. You name it. Knowing your own wonderful human imagination is the one and only cause of your life. Conceive a scene which would imply the fulfillment of your goal. Do not allow yourself to observe the action, but put yourself in the center of the scene and allow your friends to congratulate you on your good fortune. Now, he has a little more to say, but I want to step in here and tell you that because I know it, because it's happened to me. You first imagine it and then you see it as out there. But you can slowly walk yourself in it. You can slowly, not that you would see yourself, but you feel the experience of being in the center of it. And thus it is you experiencing this. Let me get back to Neville here. So do not allow yourself to observe the action, but put yourself in the center of the scene and allow your friends to congratulate you on your good fortune. You got to see that. You got to feel that. It's your best friend turning and go, oh, man, I am so happy for you. This is so perfect for you. I've seen this for you, and I'm so happy this has happened. Or your boss going, I am so proud to be able to give you this raise because you are so deserving, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The next step then is to accept their congratulations without embarrassment. Don't be embarrassed to have your riches. There is nothing nowhere that says every single one of us can't be rich with health, rich with opulence, rich with beautiful, loving, respectful relationships, rich with creative ideas and new journeys in our work life or in our play life. Our life of play. Nothing, nowhere. And anywhere that says that is BS. It's wrong. You can have as much as you believe you can have in your life. Let me finish off this piece from Neville. Accept their congratulations without embarrassment. Enter into the spirit of the scene and remain there until it feels real. Then drop it in confidence that the imaginal act was performed by God. Don't get mixed up in this word, God. Change that word to whatever you want. But that this idea, this imaginal act, yes, you did it. You're seeing it. You're working it. But it's revealed because the divinity is in you right here and right now. The power of the divine, the energy of the Big Bang is within you right now. And Neville says, how do I know this? Because he knows people are going, no, God is not about giving me everything I want. Listen to this. How do I know this? Because God's name forever and ever is I am. Right? Adonai, I am. If at the time of your imagining, I had asked you what you were doing, you would have said, I am imagining. Right? If I saw you imagining, whatever that might look like, I stopped and I said, excuse me, what is it you're doing? You would say, I am imagining. At that moment, Neville says, you called forth your desire with its name. I am. The power of I am. When you say whatever you say after I am, you are. This is part of this serious fun that I keep talking about. Life is serious fun. It's serious because you are working, you are creating in the same way that the universe was created. That's some serious business. And it's fun because that's what you're here for. You're here to have fun, to have happiness in your life from this moment to this moment to this moment to this moment. I don't think your life is necessarily better when you have both happiness and sadness. Sadness does happen because we are not responsible nor always effective about other people. We're not always an influence for other people, and things happen, and that can be sad. I'm not saying don't be sad. I'm just saying you don't have to have sadness in your life to have a fulfilled life. Life is serious fun. Neville calls all these exercises we've been talking about all month the law of assumption. And that's what's behind my book, the law of assumption. I don't actually use that term anywhere in my book. Maybe in the second edition, I will do that. But in my book, the Affirmation Revolution, I am talking about the law of assumption because that's what we do when we work our affirmations, when we work our affirmative incantations. We're feeling them, we're experiencing them, we're embodying them, and thus we are living them, all in just a few minutes a day, a couple times a day. 3 to 5 minutes. You can embody these affirmative incantations. We don't just speak the words. That's why I keep reminding you how this works. Don't just speak the words. We make an incantation of them, not in some magical spell-like way, though the effects of doing this twice a day for a week can seem magical, but as a formula of words that invokes an enchantment within you and thus a belief in the truth that you are speaking in this affirmative incantation about yourself. It's an intentional act of, it's a revolution of, and an evolution in the perspective and perception of our thinking. It's a chrysalis. This law of assumption is a chrysalis of words that make you feel and thus make you become your best self. As Emma Curtis Hopkins wrote in her workbook called Resume. Where you look shapes your thoughts. Where you look shapes your thoughts. Are you looking at a world that is against you? Well, then it's going to work out that way, whatever that looks like. You're going to imagine that. You're going to feel that. And it might feel a little too comfortable. And we have to know that. We have to stay aware of that. Or do you look at the direction of your wishes fulfilled, as Wayne Dyer called his book, Wishes Fulfilled? As Emerson wrote in his essay, The Oversoul, the divine spark within is not discovered through logical reasoning, but only through intuition. The creative insight and interpretation of one's own inner voice, that inner voice that reveals the divine intelligence, the divine love that is within you, that is there to support you, that is the foundation of your entire experience. The intuition and the imagination and the feelings experienced in it is what brings it alive into your life. Because that's what the law of assumption and the law of cause and effect and the law of attraction and the law of correspondence, all of those laws, all those spiritual laws, which basically are the same as I spoke about a few weeks ago, all of those laws are there to work for you, with you, through your imagination and the feelings behind that imaginal act. The power of you is the sower of the seeds, the ideas that you have for your life, the one who nourishes the plant or the imagination, the harvester of the burgeoning crop or the feelings experienced, and the reaper and receiver of the goods, which of course is the manifestation experienced in your life. That is the power of you. That is your power. That is your God-given power, each and every one of us. So celebrate and listen to your congratulations. And then be in gratitude of the harvest that you have created. Thank you so much. Namaste.